500 students withdraw from studies. Gari Baki commences as Police Commissioner. And National Soccer League heads into semi-finals.
This is National EMTV News with Mary Bartolo.
Good evening and thanks for joining me for Friday's news. Up to 500 students from the University of Goroka are planning to withdraw from studies in protest over the university's decision to introduce a restructure which will increase the years of study from 3 to 5. The changes mean students will receive an arts degree after 3 years and will need an additional 2 years of study to earn teaching qualifications. Today, the protest dragged into the 5th day without any sign of ending. Scott Wide reports from Goroka.
Into the 5th day of the University of Goroka protest, more than 500 students this morning stood prepared to withdraw from class.
Long class here, we play golongan, and by taking on play give extra burden to our family, our papa, mama.
Their arguments stem from what they say has been a lack of awareness over the change in academic program structures the university is offering. Their main concern, the cost their parents and guardians will be paying for restructured programs that will take an additional 2 years to complete. The university fees average between 1,500 and 4,000 kina for a year. For students from remote areas of the country, the cost burden is overwhelming.
So all expecting us after 4 years, almost graduate, almost go work so that all BLP mo lili prarasi stable kamanta, building more kamanta.
For others, the cost coupled with the length of time is a personal struggle.
And my last born family now. Close to all die now. No, me no have to stop 6 years. Me at me family finish, me got family blue me at now. Me thinking no finish school blue me now, but me go back now. Look at the family blue me now, but my blue me want it.
Under the restructure, the university is focusing on a stronger content base before allowing students to gain teaching qualifications. This means a 4-year specialization degree and then 1.5 years of postgraduate diploma and teaching practice. For the university's acting vice-chancellor, Dr. Michael Mill, the program is aimed at developing better trained teachers.
So it's those kinds of data and information and changing landscapes that are now making it necessary that universities like the University of Goroka change, reorganize, restructure, repackage, so you better prepare the workers to address our youth of the 21st century and beyond.
Later this afternoon, the students presented their withdrawal forms to the university president. Whether these forms will be accepted is another matter. Other concerns raised by the students are that the university is quite unprepared for an ambitious program like the restructure, and the facilities don't complement that vision. But the university administration says it's in line with government thinking and the overall government thrust to improve education and teacher quality.
Preparation of teachers is very important. And therefore, we could not just send teachers out with courses at the university, prepared in amongst the content courses, and then 6 weeks of practical, and we could send them out. We could see that today, that is inadequate preparation.
The university administration will also propose to government for school fee support for the programs and for the students to be on full pay when doing teaching practice. Scott Wide, National EMTV News, Goroka.
Jeffrey Vaki, the outgoing police commissioner, has accepted his decommissioning. Vaki today handed over the role of police commissioner to incoming Gari Baki. In a ceremony held in Port Moresby today, Mr. Vaki highlighted issues that need to be ironed out within the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary. The handover was witnessed by members of the police hierarchy and provincial and metropolitan commanders from all parts of PNG.
The change in the police commissioners follows a cabinet decision by the National Executive Council to replace Vaki with Baki. The announcement was made by Prime Minister Peter O'Neill last Thursday in front of cabinet ministers, including the police minister Robert Atiafa. It was handed down because of the lack of command and control experienced in the police force in the months Vaki was serving as police commissioner.
And we believe that the current NIO director, Mr. Gari Baki, who was the former police commissioner, is a person most suited and most experienced and most disciplined to take on this role as the police commissioner.
Commissioner Baki's appointment came into effect on the 7th of this month, but Baki said it is a police protocol to properly take office after an official handover ceremony. A police parade will be staged for outgoing Commissioner Baki next Friday. It will see Baki depart the Royal Constabulary with dignity after 45 years of service. This will also be the first time in years for our PNGC to farewell a constabulary member of the highest rank in such a manner.
So every one of you must know, if you leave your office as a divisional commander and somebody comes in as a new divisional commander, you do the handover takeover, irrespective of whether you're disciplined or not. That's immaterial.
Commissioner Baki has accepted the parade and challenged other commanders to uphold the Constitution and to not let housing or salary challenges be an excuse to lower their disciplinary standards. He said he has performed to the best he could and is now ready to let Baki lead the force.
Let the minister worry about the venues. You worry about how you'll execute the operation order that caters for our athletes and our visitors that come here in July.
During Baki's 11-month term as police commissioner, he addressed a number of security concerns and disciplinary issues. This included the 2014 confrontation between members of the PNGDF and the police force, the smuggling of betel nut by police officers, and numerous cases of police brutality experienced in the force. Now Baki's focus is clear. He will be making adjustments to the police modernization program, and he also said much focus will be given to the police highway patrol team in policing the LNG corridors of Papua New Guinea. Takla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Lead investigators in the Hanobada killings have been instructed by Police Commissioner Gari Baki to provide a comprehensive brief on the progress of investigations. Commissioner Baki said he will be outlining his police operations to the media, and the brief will place him in a better position to answer the media's questions. He will outline his operational plans next Wednesday.
To provide a comprehensive...
Since his appointment as police commissioner, Gari Baki is aiming for rapid change. One of his strategies to achieve this is to work alongside the mainstream media. In an outline he plans to deliver next Wednesday, reports of the Hanobada shootings, security operations for the Pacific Games, and strategies for policing the Highlands Highway are top priorities.
Mr. Damaru to provide a comprehensive brief on the shooting of Hanobada, including any other cases, so that I get a clear understanding of where we are in terms of this investigation and any other investigations, so that when the media asks me, I know what to say.
Baki said all police officers are accountable to the nation, and for too long officers were acting based on personal interests. He stated today that politics should be left out of the constabulary, and as the commissioner, he should be the only one to worry about any government-related decisions that involve the constabulary.
Discipline accumulates from the behavior of men. If you don't exercise leadership, that's how discipline will creep into the constabulary.
He urged all police officers to work under their respective commanders and concentrate on policing their area of operations. Baki will address the nation through the media on Wednesday as police commissioner, and had asked all commanders for their support in bringing back the discipline and respect to the police force. Baki's statement on a closer working network with the media was again stressed by outgoing Commissioner Jeffrey Baki.
Now let me tell the members of the press, we are slowly working on it. We have an operation order.
Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Minister for Religion, Youth and Community Development Delilah Gore today announced the endorsement of the National Lukautim Pikinini Bill 2015. Minister Gore said the bill basically protects children's rights with emphasis on parental responsibility. The bill was endorsed by the National Executive Council earlier this month.
When announcing the Lukautim Pikinini Bill 2015 to 2025 this morning, Minister Gore said the bill is to remove barriers and make a child's right real.
She says the bill serves the purpose of giving children equal rights and opportunities.
Previous laws did not give us a lot of this type of powers to protect this child, but this law will definitely be doing it.
Minister Gore says in all actions and decisions, the bill will be an act to serve and protect a child's identity.
Main focus on the bill is to ensure that our children are protected and have access to their rights, in emphasizing parental responsibility and the duty to maintain a child.
NEC's decision also directs community development agencies and personnel management to establish the Office for Child and Family Services. The bill outlines the care of a child but also maintains a close relationship with others.
The child is entitled to maintain close relationship with people significant to the child, including parents, siblings, extended family, or peer of family, friends, and community, unless it is contrary to his best interest. So this law is giving a lot of protection on the child.
Meanwhile, Department Secretary Anna Solomon strongly emphasized that the bill is not to encourage orphanage.
We don't want to encourage an orphanage. The law is highlighting our partnership with out-of-home care centers.
The bill will be pushed through by Minister Gore come the next Parliament sitting. Jack Lapave Jr., National EMTV News.
After 3 consecutive sittings at Morebe's Tutumang Assembly, the Morebe Provincial Executive Council has rejected the Lay City Authority Bill. Morebe's PEC will be requesting the national government to re-evaluate its ideas for further discussions that should involve the Tutumang Assembly. The PEC's rejection was based on legal issues of boundaries, undemocratic means of representation, and authorities being unworkable administratively. Following the recent World Water Forum in South Korea, Papua New Guinea is set to benefit from improved water and sewage systems. Today, Edarano Management and Korean company Daewoo International signed a memorandum of understanding to start the feasibility studies. The feasibility study will be fully funded by Korean water and sewage construction specialists.
Following the signing ceremony, Edarano Board Chairperson Mary Caro was pleased that as the government's commercial entity relating to water and sewage, it was good news for Edarano for the Korean company to self-fund the feasibility study.
Allow them to do their feasibility studies on the potential construction of upgrading our water sewage ponds down at Waigani, Gerehu and Morata.
In the presence of the Korean ambassador, the contractors said the feasibility study will take 3 months for Daewoo International to put together infrastructure development plans. The Korean-based company specializes in the construction of environmentally friendly water and sewage treatment facilities.
I'm very pleased to witness the MOU signing ceremony.
Edarano Chief Executive Officer Henry Mokono says with Port Moresby City developing at a faster rate and the creation of new suburbs, the construction of the treatment facilities will be conducive to the environment, given the fact that settlements are now springing up on the fringes of the existing treatment swamps. Apart from the feasibility study, there are also plans to send Edarano's first engineer to South Korea for further studies in the near future. Bridget Komatep, National EMTV News.
Ahead in the news, doctors on a mission climb PNG's highest peak, illegal miners arrested, and youths surrender weapons. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. The 56 illegal miners recently arrested by the PNGDF Force Support Battalion have been found guilty by the Porgera District Court. Local magistrate Michael Api found them guilty on 1 count of trespassing and ordered the accused to pay a fine of 300 kina or face 6 months in jail with hard labor. However, arrest officers from Mining Asset Protection want tougher penalties for offenders since they claim these villagers have committed this crime time and time again. Officers say tactics used by the illegal miners are also dangerous. The 56 illegal miners were arrested at Stockpile 68 near the Kimbe-bialla area. According to police, the arrest is the biggest of illegal miners since the SOE call-out operation began in April 2014. Papua New Guinea's Office of Climate Change and Development has gone a step further to measure carbon stock and manage forest land. This sees the establishment of a satellite land monitoring system laboratory at OCCD's office in Port Moresby. The laboratory was opened by Minister for Environment and Conservation, John Pundari, and FAO Deputy Regional V. Fuavao.
This satellite land monitoring system, SLMS, is a key component that all developing countries participating in the RED program must have. The lab will assist the government and relevant stakeholders in land-based monitoring system via satellite images, accounting of greenhouse gases, setting up of web portal for national forest, and most importantly, development of policies and measures for the RED program.
The SLMS is a practical way forward in operationalizing the National Climate Compatible Development Management Policy.
The lab is one of the few in Pacific and first in PNG. It will allow OCCD to conduct national forestry monitoring on real-time routine basis. Information gathered will be vital for government planning for land and forest management.
The government of Papua New Guinea to make better and informed decisions, to assist the people of Papua New Guinea in becoming more aware on both the threats of climate change and on how we can contribute in reducing our emissions meaningfully on the domestic front as well as the international arena.
Environment and Conservation Minister John Pundari says the lab puts PNG in a better position to advance and deliver climate-compatible development both nationally and internationally in a responsible and proactive way. The lab is a vital tool in carrying out the United Nations collaborative initiative on reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation in the country. Jack Lapave Jr., National EMTV News.
The mission to climb the highest mountain in Papua New Guinea for breast cancer was successfully accomplished by the Doctors Climb for Breast Cancer team. The initiative by Hospital Poroman Foundation, in partnership with Paradise Private Hospital, was staged to carry out awareness on breast cancer and to raise funds to purchase a mammogram. EMTV accompanied the team all the way up to the summit of the highest mountain in PNG, documenting the incredible journey. Sasha Paysilovo with this special report.
Breast cancer is ranked as the third most common type of cancer, with 2 out of 5 women diagnosed with breast cancer every day in Papua New Guinea. The incidence of breast cancer in women has steadily increased throughout the country over the years, and the highest age-specific incidence occurs in the 21 to 35-year age group. Yes, the trends are alarming and a growing concern for medical professionals and concerned citizens alike. The lack of resources to provide adequate health care is especially troubling. But instead of merely being spectators and ignoring the plight of breast cancer patients, the Hospital Poroman Foundation, in partnership with Paradise Private Hospital, have taken a stance to not only deliver ongoing awareness campaigns of breast cancer, but to go a step further by carrying out fundraising drives to meet the cost of purchasing a mammogram. Currently, there are only 2 mammograms in the whole of PNG, despite breast cancer being one of the leading killers of women in the country. One of these initiatives was the Doctors Climb for Breast Cancer, with the prime objective of tracking PNG's highest mountain for breast cancer. The team included Dr. Marlon Paiva, Dr. Heidi Paiva, Dr. Peter Kameniel, Dr. Arnold Weiner, Sister Suzanne Wadeda, Foundation founder Janet Sios and staff, the reigning Miss PNG, a PNGDF soldier, young Maisel Paiva, all accompanied by members of the Karawagi Mobile 8 Squad and EMTV.
Policeman belong Chimbu Mobile Squad 8. Me play come online Hospital Poroman Foundation. Only support them all breast cancer. So me play only come Kalabim Mount William and stab antabosem. Me play stay me play come sleep. So all walk about so me play support them all.
The team departed Port Moresby on Thursday the 7th of May, arriving in Mount Hagen and journeyed along the Okok Highway to Kundiawa and onto the village of Kegesugo at the end of the road from Kundiawa in the Kundiawa-Gembok district of the Chimbu province to begin their climb. This marks the beginning of the Mount William track. From here onwards, it takes approximately 3 to 4 hours to get to the Twin Lakes, which is the base camp of Mount William. There, the team will rest and overnight before they begin their ascent up to Mount William summit in the early hours of Sunday morning. Tracking the Kegesugo route involved climbing up and through the mountain rainforest and then along an alpine grassland glacial valley to the Twin Lakes of Pwinde and Aunde, and then resting before making the climb to the summit. After a grueling 6 hours of mountain climbing, the team reached the summit peak. The journey was physically and mentally challenging, but the team remained undeterred and focused on the greater need of scores of women and their families affected by the cancer of the breast.
Breast cancer affects everyone, not only women. When it affects a woman, a woman has relatives too.
The youngest climber, Maisel Paiva, was ecstatic to have accompanied her parents, Doctors Malon and Heidi Paiva.
Not for the faint-hearted. It's really hard. I'm really glad I made it up here. It was really awesome experience. Really tests your will and determination, and it's for a good cause too. So really happy.
Really sore right now, but if this kind of pain is what our women go through with breast cancer, this pain is nothing. And I'm almost giving up, trying to get these guys to carry me down, but I couldn't. I had to finish it just to get a feel of the pain our mothers go through with such a disease. And this trip has been about our mothers, those that we've lost, those that are suffering from breast cancer. And so for those mothers out there, this walk is yours, and we've achieved it. We've achieved it.
The Doctors Climb for Breast Cancer initiative was made possible through the support of Paradise Private Hospital, corporate and private sponsors of the climbers and the Hospital Parman Foundation, Kundiawa Gembok MP Tobias Kulang, and supported by EMTV.
Initiative that involves efforts like this to assist other people. We try to get out of our way to assist.
Doctors Climb for Breast Cancer!
Yes!
Sasha Pesilovo, National EMTV News.
Notorious youth in Buvusi, West New Britain have surrendered weapons used in crimes committed along the Kimbe-Bialla highway. The illegal weapons surrendered included homemade guns, knives and hoods. Spokesman Callistus Amon apologized to the community, saying the youth now want to take a new path and support services. The ceremony was witnessed by West New Britain Governor Sasindran Mutuvel, PEC members and MOSA President Daka Wagai. The Governor has committed financial assistance to the group for poultry projects. In the autonomous region of Bougainville, any candidate who interferes with the electoral process will be dealt with under the existing laws. This is the warning from Bougainville's Acting Electoral Commissioner, Mr. George Manu. Fabian Hakalitz reports.
Candidates who interfere with the electoral process have been reminded that it's an illegal act that be prosecuted. The stern warning was issued by the Acting Electoral Commissioner following an incident that happened in Buka on Wednesday after one candidate temporarily shut down a polling place. The matter is now before the Bougainville Police Service. Mr. Manu said such acts disrupts the voting process and interferes with the rights of Bougainvilleans to freely participate in the election. Meanwhile, PNG Electoral Commissioner Andrew Trowen expressed satisfaction with the conduct of the AB General election polling since Monday this week. Trowen was pleased to see Bougainvilleans turning up in numbers at the various designated polling stations to cast their votes for the candidates of choice in this important election. The Bougainville Electoral Commission was further commended for setting precedents, operating as an independent organization. Polling is still continuing in the autonomous region of Bougainville and outside Bougainville. Fabian Hakalitz, National EMTV News.
Moving on, we take a look at the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.3685 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.3610 US dollars, 0.4438 Australian dollars, 0.3126 euro, and 42.61 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold, coffee, copra, and cocoa all closed higher. Palm oil and copper closed higher, while crude oil closed the day lower. And on the stock markets, the Dow Jones closed 192 points higher, the ASX closed at 8 points higher, and the All Ordinaries closed at 15 points higher. Stories making headlines overseas when we return: thousands of migrants rescued at sea and child slaves set free. Welcome back to the news. Turning overseas now, and 300 enslaved children were freed from a total of 10 armed groups in the Central African Republic after a deal was brokered with the United Nations last week. Alana Lay with this report.
The children were released yesterday and are thought to have been working as soldiers or sex slaves for the country's warring militias, including the Seleka group and the anti-Balaka group. A peace pact was signed last week in Central Africa's capital of Bangui between militants and the UN.
Starting from today, in accordance with the agreement signed in Bangui, everybody, all of us, we want to disarm so that peace comes back to the Central African Republic.
An estimated 6,000 to 10,000 children are currently being held in militant groups. Many of the child soldiers freed yesterday were recruited from an early age, although others recognize the need for a normal life after living in difficult conditions.
I will give up Seleka's child soldier work so that I can find something else, go back to my neighborhood and start a little commerce, buying and selling things, and keep that as my only occupation.
The move is an important step towards peace, according to the UN, as thousands of people are estimated to have died in the conflict, with over 1 million displaced. Alana Lay, EMTV World News.
Trukai Sports is next. Our Lorraine Genia attends a World Sports meeting in Doha, Qatar. Swimming tickets sold out, and a preview of the NSL semi-finals this weekend.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. The International Olympic Committee has identified sport as a tool for achieving gender equality and addressing other gender-based issues in modern society. A joint workshop with the Qatar Olympic Committee will see national representatives from all 3 continents attend a 2-day workshop in Doha, Qatar. From this workshop, national Olympic committees will then have a pathway for developing and sustaining the participation of women in sport worldwide. EMTV's Lorraine Genia with this report from Doha.
The workshop held here in Doha, Qatar will be based around discussions surrounding gender equality and how sports can be used to achieve this. Head of Media Operations for the International Olympic Committee, Anthony Edgar, says within the industry, an important element of achieving gender equality has a lot to do with how the media reports and interprets results, games and athletes.
Now, in that the ISC encourages and supports the promotion of women in sport at all levels and in all positions, with the greater goal of working towards complete gender equity between men and women.
Similarly, Lola Almeri, General Secretary for Qatar Women's Sports Committee, has stressed the importance of the media and the involvement of men. While sports has been the backbone for many developing countries offering sustainability, it has and can be used as a vital tool for unity.
Within the position of responsibility of ensuring that you, the media, can do your job and cover sport at the Olympic Games fairly and openly.
While the International Olympic Committee has set the target at 20%, the Papua New Guinea Olympic Committee has already exceeded this with 50% of women in leadership roles. What Papua New Guinea can take out of this is the sustainability of women's participation in sports. Lorraine Genia, National, EMTV Sports, Doha.
Tickets for swimming at the upcoming Pacific Games have been sold out. This includes packages and the daily tickets for the 6-day event. Swimming will be held at the Tauranga Aquatic Center and is scheduled to be held from Monday, the 6th of July to Saturday, the 11th. Elijah Lavette with this report.
Swimming fans with tickets will be able to witness PNG swim champion Ryan Pini take to the pool for the last time in front of his home crowd. Pini will be aiming to win 7 gold medals in the individual events. He is currently in training in Brisbane and was ecstatic when told all the tickets to his sport had been sold out. Pini leads a team of youngsters and has encouraged supporters to come watch the future of PNG swimming as he makes his exit after the Games. Now that there are proper facilities to train in, this will hopefully see PNG swimming taken to the next level. Meanwhile, President Elizabeth Wills was also very happy when told of the news that swimming had been sold out with just less than 50 days to go before the opening ceremony. And with tickets sold out, it is hoped that this will continue to put to rest the ongoing claims about the venues not being ready. CEO of the Games Organizing Committee Peter Stewart thanked the public for their support to PNG swimming and encouraged the supporters of the remaining sports to get to their nearest ticket outlets and buy their tickets. Elijah Lavette, National EMTV Sports.
To soccer, and Medang will play host to the Telikom National Soccer League's semi-final doubleheader at Laiwaden Oval this weekend. This is also the first time Medang FC has made it to the semi-finals of the semi-professional football competition since their re-entry this year. Medang FC will go head-to-head with Hekari United, and FC Pom will face Lay City Dwellers. MTV's Shane Saroya has more.
Tommy Sami and Joachim Waroi both scored to give Hekari United a 2-1 victory in what Voni Capinato had described as grand final preview. However, the return leg to Port Moresby CIS College would prove disastrous for Francis Moyap's men as they suffered an embarrassing 8-1 defeat. Tommy Sami again opened the scoring before Joachim Waroi joined in on the action. Then Tutizama Tanito, Emmanuel Arem and Kema Jack also scored. Sami also picked his first hat-trick. Medang's coach Francis Moyap, however, remains highly confident his charges can create history in Medang. The side boosted by majority of its players from the province itself. FC Port Moresby drew 0-0 with Lay City Dwellers the last time they met. In the opening match this weekend, both teams will go head-to-head and will see Medang's Laiwaden Oval host its biggest ever NSL feature to date. Since the Medang Fox team from the 2010 season, the province hasn't had much to celebrate apart from PNG Games gold medal, and their fate rests on this semi-final. Hekari have topped the table but only barely, having had a game in hand. The 2015 season has proved more difficult than previous, with improvements in coaching styles and player quality from the teams. Hekari are also favorites but only barely competing. The Medang crowd are also highly patriotic toward their own, and Lay City Dwellers are also likely to receive strong backing. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
Port Moresby Rugby Football League has been locked out from the Murray Barracks Oval for an indefinite period due to non-payment. However, Chairman of Port Moresby Rugby Football League, Dr. James Naipau, said no monetary agreement was made for the use of the Oval, but for POM RFL to develop the existing facilities and amenities inside the Oval perimeter. Following the games in July, POM RFL will move back to Bissini and will hand over the Oval back to the PNGDF. AFL PNG has also secured the Murray Barracks AFL Oval to conduct its junior competition until the end of July. The AFL competition will continue as scheduled this weekend. Trukai Sports continues after the break with cricket and rugby league. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. Queensland Cricket Game Development Officer Matthew Walter was in the country for 2 weeks to assist Cricket PNG's Game Development Department. The Game Development Department is responsible for the global award-winning BSP School Cricket Program, Gold Nuggets Hardball Competition and the Cricket Blong Olgata Program. Elijah Lavette with this report.
Matthew has been here in the country with Cricket PNG, working closely with regional cricket manager for the National Capital District, Lista Oala, to help develop his skills. Oala's role is mainly focused on school programs such as the BSP School Cricket and BSP Blast competition. Matthew worked alongside Lista to see how he could manage the programs he runs. The Queensland cricketer was pleased with Cricket PNG's rollout of the development programs and was really impressed with the organization that is being run. The game development team last year had more kids participate in their school programs than they had in Queensland by 30,000 participants. Although the weather hasn't been kind during his stay, he has managed to get out to a couple of schools to witness the BSP program and Cricket Bloogata program. Cricket PNG is doing great work in promoting the sport. The next step could be by transferring kids to play structured cricket and provide opportunity at a club and association level. Elijah Lavette, National EMTV Sports.
To the NRL now, and tonight's doubleheader will see the Canterbury Bulldogs take on the informed Sydney Roosters at ANZ Stadium. And in the Battle of Queensland, the Cowboys are up against the Brisbane Broncos. The Broncos are on top of the table and will be hard to beat, but the Cowboys will be tough to beat after defeating the Bulldogs last weekend, 23 points to 16.
The Roosters bounced back from a 4-game losing streak last weekend, crushing the West Tigers, and are looking to be one of the favourites to take the premiership this season.
But Pearce goes all the way.
But the Bulldogs, although coming off 2 straight losses, will not go down without a fight, with their halves set to prove themselves with Origin around the corner.
Just short. He was short initially, ended up on the line, and we'll wait and see what...
Both sides are on 8 competition points, but the Roosters are on 7 and Bulldogs 11th on for and against on the NRL points ladder. In the Battle of Queensland this weekend, the Cowboys will be up against the top of the table Brisbane Broncos. The Broncos are in great form, coming off a superb win last weekend in the dying minutes against the Panthers.
Hunt got the pass back away. He's in, Corey Oates. He got the ball down.
The Cowboys, on the other hand, are coming into the match with much-needed confidence with a win over the Bulldogs.
Tonight, or maybe Michael Morgan. He runs away from Perrott. Michael Morgan, is he the hero? Morgan.
Both playmakers Ben Hunt and Jonathan Thurston have been in devastating form, and on the eve of Origin, the match will prove to be exciting. Dion Kombang, National EMTV Sports.
And True Kai Sports ends there. The weather details up next. Stay with us.
True Kai Sports. True Kai Sports.
Taking a look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region, Port Moresby and Kerma, cloudy with rainy periods, cloudy with squally showers and rain for Alatau, early morning showers for Popondetta, and cloudy with squally rain for Daru. Over to the Momasa region, Lae and Madang, you can expect brief showers and a few showers expected in Wiebeek and Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, Lorengau and Kavieng, brief showers, squally showers and rain for Buka and Kimbe, and showers and rain expected in Kokopo. And in the Highlands region, all centres to expect rainy periods with morning fog. Recapping our top stories before we go, 500 students at the University of Goroka want to withdraw from studies in protest over restructures. Gari Baki commences as police commissioner, and the National Soccer League heads into its semi-finals. And that ends National EMTV News this Friday, the 15th of May. On behalf of the news team, I'm Mer Batulo. Enjoy your weekend. Pleasant viewing.